oftentimes we got to do something different. And when we take a moment to look at the fears and we be really honest with ourselves, like, hey, these are my fears. This is what I have going on. This is where I'm at with this. Then you can start being brutally honest with yourself on what are the next action steps to take towards the goal. Hello and welcome to today's episode. I'm so excited you are here. Have you ever been afraid? Afraid to make a mistake, afraid to disappoint, afraid to show up, afraid of being seen. Afraid. Another word for that would be is fearful. I think we all have our own fears. Some of them are irrational. Like some people can't wrap your head around, hey, why are you scared of that? And I'll give you an example. I'll share one of my fears. I have a fear of escalators. I have a fear that my shoelaces are going to get stuck or someone's shoelace is going to get stuck in the claw and it's going to do something nasty. They're going to get stuck or the escalator is going to collapse. I have seen videos of gigantic escalators collapsing with people just piling on top of one another. This is a very irrational fear. Have I ever experienced an escalator doing this thing? No. Does my husband think it's an absolute crazy fear? Absolutely. And he likes to make fun of me about it. We make a joke about it. I'm okay with him making fun of me about it because I realize it's not a common fear for some people, but we all have fears. And the key about having a fear, no matter what it is that it's necessary to work through certain fears. And for me, getting on an escalator is working through the fear. I might have to hold on to the railing. I need to do deep breathing, especially when there's lots of people on it. But I'm not going to stop it from preventing me from working through the fear. Now, that being said, there are some fears that cripple people. They make them freeze or run or fawn, whatever the case is. And this requires baby steps. This requires taking time to work through the fear, unpacking it. Do you need to work with someone to unpack it? Sometimes, absolutely. I know for me, I have a very big fear of drowning. I have done past life regressions to work through this fear. And doing past life regressions, I've discovered I've drowned a lot of times in previous lifetimes, and that this is where the fear comes from. I also almost drowned when I was a kid as well. And so we can have fears that are crippling, and then we can have fears that just prevent us from taking action, even though we want to take action. And it's a silent crippling that occurs. And I often find this when people are afraid to be seen or afraid to speak up or afraid to do certain goals, dreams, desires because of these silent fears that are occurring. And I want to encourage you to start reviewing some of your desires that you had goals for this year to start on or to accomplish and you haven't. And maybe there are goals that you have had for many, many years that you have not accomplished. And I want you to sit down. I want you to ask yourself, why am I fearful of accomplishing this goal? What is my silent fear? What are my silent fears? By asking these questions, one, you're going to get the opportunity to start unpacking some fears. Now, you can unpack them on your own, you can get support, you can get help, however you want to do it, but it's really important to actually look at the fears, because without looking at the fear, you're going to continue to get the same result, and that result is the same thing you've always gotten towards that goal or desire. Oftentimes, we got to do something different, and when we take a moment to look at the fears and we be really honest with ourselves, like, hey, these are my fears, this is what I have going on, this is where I'm at with this, then you can start being brutally honest with yourself on what are the next action steps to take towards the goal. And that might be just sitting with the fear for a couple weeks. That might be getting help to work through that fear. That might be realizing that there's much more to do than just try to get the goal accomplished. Because let's say you want to be successful in your business, but you have a fear of being seen. So you're avoiding doing all sorts of marketing strategies, because if you're seen, like, that's not going to go very well. Like, because people are going to either make fun of you, or they're not going to like you, or whatever else is there with being seen. You gotta unpack it, my friend, because you're never going to have the success you want. And you don't even have to be a business owner or want to start a business in order to have the fear of being seen. There are lots of people that have this fear that causes them to not be seen in a relationship or relationships that they are in, meaning platonic relationships. They are often overlooked in promotions or in their career, or they're often overlooked in their friendship circles or in groups that they're in. Whatever the fear is, it's crucial to be honest with yourself. And for me, I know that for swimming, like that type of fear, there are still things that is necessary for me to unpack there. That as my daughter gets older, I realize that some of these old fears I thought I completely worked through are still there. And so what am I going to do to unpack it? I'm going to take some swim lessons. And I know that sounds silly, because I actually know how to swim. But I had this frightening incident in a swimming pool with my daughter, because I'm very short, and I didn't realize there was a ledge, and I was holding her, and she didn't have floaties on or anything like that. And I was too short to touch the bottom, and I don't know how to tread water with a 28-pound child. And it scared me to death, because I had to not panic. I had to push her off to the side to get to the edge of the pool, while also not drowning myself, because I had a child in my arms. And so know that sometimes fears will sneak up on you to address, if you like it or not. So why not unpack them? And when you address the fear head on, you take power back. When you avoid the fear, when you pretend like it's not there, or you're not wanting to look at it, you're going to experience the fear at some time in your life again, if you like it or not. So have the courage to unpack it and to look at it, because you are going to do amazing things after you look at it. And everything doesn't change overnight. It's a gradual process towards your enlightenment, towards your embodiment of true self, towards self-actualization through self-realization. And it's a really powerful thing. And fears can cripple and stunt our growth. And when you take the time to address it, you empower yourself head on. And I'm being guided to share this analogy because this is a really good, like, I think I'm just intuitively getting this, is when a woman is pregnant, you are going to have to give birth at some point in time in your pregnancy. What that looks like is completely up to God, the universe, because that baby is going to enter this world how it wants to enter this world. You can make a pregnancy plan. You can do all of these things. But no matter what, you're going to have to give birth to that baby in the way that it sees fit, in the way your body sees fit as well. And that might be through a vaginal birth, that might be through an emergency C-section, that might be through a scheduled C-section, that might be through many different possibilities of how they go about getting that baby out of that woman. But it is going to happen if you like it or not. It doesn't matter how fearful the person is of having the baby, it's coming out regardless of what that person is fearing or not fearing. And so life is like that too. We give birth to many things. We have many deaths as well. And sometimes we have zero control over what the journey looks like, but we know it's going to happen. And so this is a sense of way of getting a little bit more control over the fear, because it's going to work its way out no matter what. So you might as well have a little bit of say-so in it, right? So, all right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please make sure you like and subscribe. I would love to hear what fears you are working through. You can comment, you can leave a testimony, you can leave a review. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure you hit that bell button so you get notifications when we go live and when we release a new video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.